Okay. This is our last segment. Last but not least, we got Philip Gabbert, the computer guy. I put you last because, you know, you never know where it's going to go. Philip Gabbert is he's the owner of Warp9Computers.net. And he is, I told you about him at the beginning of the show, but he is the computer guy. He teaches, he fixes, he takes care of your computer wellness. And so I want to welcome you back to the show. The last time you were on was really good. So welcome back to the show, Philip Gabbert.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy to have you back. When we talked earlier this week, we decided that we were going to talk about something the viewers might like to know because, of course, there's advanced tech and there's just people that don't know so much, but everybody has the same issue when it comes to taking care of their computer. And so first off, I know that we had talked about your antivirus software, and that is the main thing that you do. Is that correct?
Well, that's part of what I do. I want to make sure everybody's protected. That's why I have the corporate grade software and the services with two-way firewalls, making sure they're protected so they don't have any problems with their machines being infected.
And with that, though, they still ought to back up.
Yes.
Because just because you won't get attacked by a computer virus doesn't mean that you won't get a crash.
That's true. I mean, they could be running fine and all of a sudden the hard drive dies out. Well, if it's a physical hard drive crash where it doesn't work anymore, you just lost all that data. So you need to have it backed up.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to, the hard drive may not be bad, but you're going to have to do something and you're going to have to retrieve that data. I know we had to do that with mine.
Well, yours wasn't bad. It was just that the software in it crashed, and I was able to retrieve it. But if the hard drive does not spin, then you're going to have to take it out to a recovery shop and pay anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 to even start recovery on it in order to recover the data off of it.
Or if you add a program and something, God forbid, it just, it gets your computer's not clicking right. You're just, I just made a horrible mistake. I know you got the restore, but if you haven't set that up properly, this thing will allow you to bring it right up to the, the last backup. And so you always have a clean, and I know some people that actually back up their hard drive, wipe it completely, format it. And we were talking about on the, if you make the move over to Windows 7,
right,
you're going to need to do that.
True.
Because you need that hard drive to put that on, so you're going to have to put it somewhere. So that would do that.
That's part of the things to look at when you're backing up. And the recommended backup solution is something that would back up on a daily basis but doesn't slow your system down.
Tell me about it, so you don't have to leave it there and it goes ka-chunk.
Right.
It always tells you that you can still do stuff, but as your mouse is waving, going, it really does take over. We were going to talk about, first off, before I back up, now this is just me, I always kind of clean up my system, and I look at my folders and stuff and make sure, get rid of the junk, so I don't want to necessarily back up junk. But we were talking about how important it is that when you're doing that, you can do a full set backup, but how you set up your data and organize it can really speed it up when you're doing those down the road. Just you want to do the data backups when you do it. So tell us about that.
Well, in simple terms, everybody has My Documents in there, and people put things on in My Documents, but then they start saving it to the desktop. When you save it to the desktop, it's not in the My Documents folder. So when people back up, they typically go straight to the My Documents and back it up. They miss the desktop. What I suggest people doing is getting away from the desktop, putting it into My Documents, and actually moving the actual My Documents to the root of a hard drive, like the C drive. Putting it there, that way you have a single place to back everything up from.
You'll be able to think about that.
You'll be able to identify it, and you'll be able to get that information back. Another thing that's not backed up in the typical is email settings. Well, that's in a hidden folder in the hard drive. You never see it. So unless you know exactly where to look, you should move those over to the My Documents also, like the PST files for Outlook. You know, if you're using Microsoft Outlook, you have PST files. Those should be in the My Documents folder also, so you can back those up.
Well, if you move it, isn't that going to change where the My Documents is? I mean, you click on it because it knows, or is it going to know when it goes to My Documents?
If you do it right, it will know where it is.
So it doesn't matter where you put it, it's going to find My Documents.
That's correct.
I didn't know that.
Had no clue.
Yeah.
And the simple...
And I go through the user and all that
Right.
other stuff and to get to it, and I could just put it on the root directory.
Right. A simple way of doing it to identify is when you click on Start, you have those My Documents up there. You right-click on My Documents, go to Properties, and then you want to move it. You just change the address in there, get rid of all the junk in there, saying it's C:\My Documents, and then click on Move. And it will take everything in My Documents and move it to the root drive for you. You don't have to do anything for it. It does it automatically.
Golly, I mean, I didn't need to write that down. Or best, I'll watch this again. So, yeah.
Rewind, hit play.
Yeah, rewind and play, because that would save me. I can't tell you, and then looking for all those my pictures and all that stuff. You've just made it my day. Okay, let's see what else there is. I mean, and the Outlook, I learned something from you when we were talking. You know, I always thought, because I do have the restore, I always thought, well, those recycle files I need, because if I restore it, they'll need the recycle file. So I've been carting around this huge recycle file because I'm afraid to delete it. And he tells me that's not where your restore files are. And so, I mean, tell us about that. I mean,
well,
when it comes to the recycle bin.
The recycle bin is an option for you. If you delete something from the hard drive, if you think you might need it, then you can go to the recycle bin and check it. All right? But if you don't need it anymore, then you just empty out the recycle bin. When people say, I need a system restore, well, there is a hidden file on your hard drive that keeps track of what we call checkpoints of all the different times when a checkpoint was done, like restarting a computer. There's a checkpoint that's established. Those checkpoints are what's used in those hidden files to be able to restore back to those different dates. But you can't delete those. That's automatic. You don't see them. And a lot of people think that that's in the recycle bin. No, it's not. It's actually somewhere else in the hidden files.
Yeah. So clean up that recycle bin. and that brought me to, the reason I learned about the recycle bin is because you made a suggestion last time you were on. You said, I said, you know, I'm always I max out in my memory, and I'm always having to power down. And you said, well, get C cleaner. And it would, you know, and it was free. And that thing worked really neat. So tell people what that utility does, and you use it.
I use it all the time. C cleaner. Well, let me identify this.
Okay.
Every time you go to the website, you're going to get placeholders placed on your hard drive, cookies and temp files and all those temporary images and all that. So it makes it easier to go to the same page again to update it. But if the website is updated, it's not going to delete those old ones. It's going to just put new ones on there. So now all these temporary internet files are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Pretty soon you're going to have to get rid of it. Well, the program that I use that is very easy to use for most people is C Cleaner. You can go out to Google C Cleaner.
Yeah, I Googled it.
And download it. It's free. And what it will do is go through and delete all those temporary files. And memory dumps. Another one, whenever your system crashes, you have a memory dump. If you check mark the memory dumps, it will get rid of all those memory dumps. Again, cleaning up your hard drive.
Wait, what did you say? Say that again.
Blue screen of death.
Yeah.
That's a memory dump.
Okay.
You don't need that. Unless you're a programmer, you're going to need those. But that takes up space on your hard drive. C cleaners will help clean that out too.
So I can go ahead and check that off and be okay?
Yes. So C cleaner is kind of like doing a cleanse for your body.
Yeah, it is.
Computer.
Cleaning your computer.
It's a colon cleanse for the computer. It
Yeah.
gets all the trash out.
I don't know about that, but some way you do get it in the wrong place if you don't keep it in the right place. So maybe you're right. But I'll tell you what. I mean, Okay, so I'm learning now. Now I'm asking questions, and I would say anybody could tweet their questions to him. I didn't even make that announcement. You could tweet your questions to us at Celebrity You. Hashtag Celebrity You. Is that what we're doing?
Celebrity you.
Yeah. It's hashtag Celebrity You, and you can ask him these questions.